it's interesting. Like one day in one of our podcasts, I want to talk about duality of things. Because I mean, really,
that's very important because people can't, once they only see one side,
they can only focus on one and the other.
Balance and be able to see both and hold.
Right, because like I have been really focused and realized how much duality there is in my life. Duality for men that I love, duality within my sexuality, duality within the race of my child, duality within spirituality and being really into science. Okay, now that we've been filming for 18 minutes. Okay. Crystals. Let's talk about that for a second. This time we were feeling a little antsy before starting this. So I pulled from my my moon crystal healing altar some crystals. I am holding a piece of rose quartz, which is for your heart chakra, for loving and healing and abundance of energy revolving the heart. And then I'm holding actually 2 amethysts, which are for the crown chakra, to open your third eye and to receive and to give energy. And you are holding selenite, a bar of selenite, which is cleansing, helps you to be clear of mind, helps to cleanse and clear yourself as well as other energies around you. So yeah, we'll talk about crystals. What's your favorite crystal?
It's definitely always been amethyst.
Amethyst, yeah. She loves purple.
But I'm definitely getting into rose quartz because my big self-care journey, one of them right now, I'm going on multiple apparently.
Yeah,
and is going to be self-love. So that's definitely what I'm drawn to right now.
Yeah, I've always really loved clear quartz or smoky quartz. Also rose quartz as well, and I really, really love jade as well. So anyway, what's yours? Tell us. We'll talk about it next time. Hey guys, let's start off. Welcome to our podcast. This is your daily dose of whatever. Shit, I already forgot.
Free therapy.
Oh no, I'm like in my nervous mind. Wow, what's wrong with me? Okay, we'll cut that out. Edit. Okay.
No, it's so cool because we're just assuming that we're creating a system of unjudgmental people that like we can help grow, and that if there's any people in the comments
this is real life,
who are just like, you know,
let's check.
For all the people who are going to say shit in the comments, like this is most humanity. Of humanity.
This is accepting our humanity.
Yeah. Not being fake, being able to be yourself fully without holding the anxiety of what I think, what other people think, and being able to calm
to love yourself.
And being able to hold your own energy, and to be able to be the stupid person and make mistakes and like who even said it's stupid? Like
it's okay.
That's a whole other podcast of talking about like being able to say that you're not stupid because of
being able to say an action was silly or a mistake of not what I intended, but nothing is wrong with it.
Right.
Okay.
But for real, starting off now.
Okay, starting off now. Welcome to our podcast. Thanks for coming here. If you're friends, if you're family, if you're someone we don't know, or you're going to be friends or family, this is your daily dose of real therapy.
Yeah.
Where this is not real therapy, but
I'm a real therapist.
And I'm a life therapist. So yeah, we're gonna be your best friends. One with who is a licensed therapist, one who's just been through a lot and has studied a lot about life and spirituality, astrology, tarot cards, all of that stuff. And she's coming in with the facts, with the education, with the licensure.
Yeah.
But with that said,
I'm a licensed clinical mental health counselor. I have a master's degree, but like, of course, ethically and for legal reasons, like I am not your therapist, and that's probably, legal disclaimer, like any other video.
Yeah, don't consider this a real therapy session.
No.
We're your friends talking to you about your life and about our lives, and but with the education to back it up. Just to start off, we are sisters. We're not the same age. We are not twins, but we are 2 years apart. She's 2 days different from my birthday, but 2 years older than me. But we grew up together, obviously as sisters. Well, not obviously. We don't know what familial statuses are out there, but we did grow up in the same household. And so we are in a place right now of emotional growth and learning about self-love and choosing ourselves and figuring out what that means to choose ourselves. And we both just quit our jobs.
Yeah.
Not specifically for a reason that necessarily coincides, other than we were tired of working for somewhere that didn't validate our humanity.
Yeah.
And we are in a place where we love ourselves enough that we are choosing to validate our own humanity, inconsequentially, unconditionally.
Yeah.
Choosing that, even if it's not the smart thing to do.
Which I feel like that's, I mean, like, we're both, like, just recently figured out, like, kind of getting in sync with the universe and feeling that energy, or, you know, whatever you call that energy that we all feel in our lives, being able to, like, finally harness that in ourselves, that we're, you know, somehow in sync, which just felt like that was just a really big red flag, or not green flag, I guess, from the universe of like, hey, pay attention to this.
You're
like
choosing.
This
You're
is
learning
important.
Lessons. Yeah.
And so like we just kind of both quit our jobs, being able to finally see enough self-worth in ourselves to demand respect, to draw in these things, to start manifesting these things. And I think we started talking more about it, like 3-hour-long conversations.
Yeah.
And then just realizing, like, why don't we just film this and share it with somebody? Because this is such a big thing now. And, like, I feel like, you know, the more content you can have to help you understand how to go on this journey easier, you know, because we're all forced into this journey through life. But when we choose to, like, figure these things out and kind of lean into the scary things and work on ourselves. Like, I think that's what some people are starting to do now, and finding ways to make that easier, because that is a really fucking hard journey, and
it's really hard, and we want to talk about it. So we're going to be talking about in this podcast real therapy. It's just like talking to you. It's going to be like the therapy that you get when you heal in community with your friends, with your family, when you talk to each other.
Healing together.
We've been really focused with that on healing together, but yeah, we're going to talk about healing together. And in community, we're going to talk about spirituality and what our beliefs are. We're going to talk about childhood trauma. We both grew up in the same house, so a lot of our trauma is similar but shows up different. And self-love, getting through that journey. We can talk about partners. We can talk about astrology. We can read tarot cards.
Anything. We've been getting into our witchy side also.
Witchy side is real.
I feel like we're
like
both
moms.
A good range of topics that a lot of people can deal with. And then even if you don't feel like our things are relevant to you, the emotions that we all experience, the patterns in our life, they're all very similar, even though they're set in different environments, different situations. But it's those emotions that we connect on. That's how we build empathy. That's how we build understanding. And then communicating, like you said, in a community as a whole, that's going to help us feel like we can practice being vulnerable. That's going to help you break through some of these things that you need to do, because sometimes you can't really work through something until you let yourself experience it and accept it for what it is, and then use your coping skills, use all of your community, your therapeutic supports, using all those people. That's how you heal. And it's not even just one thing. You don't heal from just one thing. I think we've been talking a lot about lately of like the different kind of areas of our life, like codependency, being by yourself, what was the career issues,
what's your passion, what's your purpose in life, finding what it means to show up as your real self and your truest version of yourself. Because, like, you know, we all hear all the time, just be you. Just be you, and that's all you can be, and live fearlessly in yourself. But what does that actually mean? How does that show up in our lives? How does that show up in our subconscious minds and the thoughts that we're thinking and feeling on a daily basis? Like, because I feel like I've heard that before, but like you don't get it until you've really, really connected those dots,
gain the wisdom of experiencing
and
these
experience
other things you've had to work through.
Yeah, and so maybe you're going through that. Maybe you have something similar that you can relate to. Maybe you just want to make some friends on the internet. We're here for that. We're here to connect with you. We're just looking to connect, and it honestly comes from a place of genuine intention. We are putting intentions into the universe to heal in community, to help other people, to be the change in the world that we want to see, and we want to experience, and be vulnerable to put what we're really going through and what we're really feeling in this world, to put it out there, because someone's feeling the same way, or someone's feeling similar, or someone has a friend who's feeling similar, and this will help you understand your friend or your child or your sister or whoever better. So we hope that you can gain some insight from what we think and feel, and hopefully we can gain some insight from you guys too.
And I think a big thing that is going to help in our approach with things, of being real, of being able to trust that we're in a deep enough growth space of ourselves that we're allowed to make mistakes and not feel guilty about it or shameful about it. That we're going to be able to be this vulnerable, like, person who, like, literally was recording for 18 minutes and
we
didn't
had no
know
idea.
and so, like, being able to be vulnerable and someone see that you're able to get past that scary part, to cope with all the things and feel it and come out on the other side being able to hold it, and now hold a new thing of growth that you're needing to work on.
For sure.
Like, being able to see both sides in someone else before you go down that journey is sometimes really inspiring, because you would want that. And that's what I think we want, is that that was somebody, for us, was somebody else in our life.
Someone else has done that for us.
YouTube, a family friend, or just a friend.
YouTube, or the media in general, the podcast, the Instagram accounts, it's like I feel like I can't consume enough, because I'm so focused on my self-growth and healing that I want to stay in that all the time. So to truly fill my life with the amount of content that I do consume or want to consume, and validating that that's not necessarily a bad thing, just changing what I consume, so that's because you kind of are what you consume,
right? And we want to be part of that, what goes into the world of what we would want to consume,
right? And the thing is, I think that we like, and I don't want to speak for you, but we have talked about this, where, you know, we have felt like, oh, you know, what I feel and think isn't valid, or what I want to put into the universe, like, who wants to listen to it, and who wants to hear that, and there's so many millions of YouTubers already, like, who's, like, why does it matter? At the end of the day, we need to put this out for us. And we need to validate that there's enough room at the table for everybody. That's why everyone's here. Everyone has a purpose. Everyone has has a space at the table. If there's not enough chairs at the table, pull another chair up, man.
And that's this space is meant to be.
It's meant to show you that there's
create a community, like, especially after COVID, coming back together, being able to heal out of that antisocial, like, agoraphobic person that we've all become, like, where we're not wanting to leave our house, we're not wanting to find connection outside of technology,
and just being really, really, like, overly self-independent and feeling like you can only rely on yourself, you can only be in that space with yourself, because in reality, you know, even if you feel like, oh, no one else is feeling this, other people are feeling it, and people are really just scared to be vulnerable with you. Even if someone says, I'm not feeling it, it doesn't mean that they aren't feeling it. Everyone wants to talk about what it means to heal from trauma, but how do you heal yourself in the moments that you're going through trauma? Or how do you get through a really hard time? And how do you choose to accept and love yourself and say, I'm still healing and working through this while going through a hard time? Because that's really hard too.
That's one of the most difficult things to do, and that's, I think, what we want to continue to do is like share things that we're going through, help you guys understand how to get through things, because like help and growth and all those things are really, really awesome when you're like not struggling. But what do you do when you are struggling?
What's your subconscious habits?
Yeah.
Mental habits. What's your subconscious physical habits to take care of yourself? What's your subconscious things that you say to yourself?
Getting self-awareness,
the conversation.
All of those
things.
Gaining
the self-awareness is the first thing. So
Yes.
if you're someone who's listening who's like, oh, maybe I'm not self-aware. Think about it. Think about like, okay, when I'm going through a hard time, what are the words that I say? What language do I use to speak to myself? What language, what story do I create in my head about what's happening around me and how I'm going to get through it and all of that? Like what language am I saying to myself that's coming out verbally? What are the habits? Do I tend to not take care of my body or drink less water?
Like, so how is that showing up in your life? Like not being self-aware of things and I think you're gaining that awareness, but you don't want it yet. You're not in that stage of change to do that. Then you're going to get really defensive.
Right.
And we can't grow. I feel like this is going to get reiterated because I think we both have been really stubborn with ourselves and trying to hear other people. But I think when we start gaining awareness of something, because you all of a sudden see something and you don't like it.
Right.
And that's kind of what happens. Some trauma, normally trauma, is what sparks it. Or you're hitting rock bottom and you're just like, I'm tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of struggling.
Like, at some point you gotta be tired.
Right.
And you're in shit.
And so I think that kind of then transitions into, you've got to figure out, like, how to accept that it's okay to need help, how to accept what other people that are telling you about things you're doing, or, you know, just what the universe is trying to tell you. So we're hoping to be part of that frontier of that reality and helping put good in the world, because even if this makes nothing, if we don't get clients, if we don't start groups, if we're not a successful podcast, if we're not making money off of this, which we do need to survive, not that that's what we intentionally have for this, but like being okay with that, I think, is a big thing. And being vulnerable
for us
is a big thing. Yeah. And so
put that intention into the world to receive it back however the universe sees fit.
Yeah. So we're going to be setting up things for you guys to reach out that, like, we would appreciate the support, because I think I would love to see, like, more people who are where we're at but don't have the time or space to do this or have a connection to put with somebody.
And before we end this, that was another huge part of this, is that like, not have it's hard with healthcare systems when you can't afford clinical therapy. You know, I actually have said that super recently. I've said, you know, my friend was like, oh, have you considered going back to therapy? Because I've been in therapy before. And I'm like, I can't afford it. And now when I quit my job, I really can't afford it. Limiting self-beliefs, like, we're going to get into manifestation, like manifesting what is meant to be for us to bring to us what we want. And if you have limiting self-beliefs of what you deserve or what you have the capacity to receive or not, like, if you say, oh, I want to get out of debt, but if you don't realistically think that you're going to ever get out of debt, you will never get out of debt.
And you're not even going to put actions into getting out of that debt because you don't think you'll be able to leave.
You won't even try. Like, if you think your marriage is ruined and you don't think it's going to get better, then it's not going to get better. Yeah. If you don't think that you're ever going to get a good job where it pays a certain amount or allots you to travel or whatever, you're never going to do that.
And honestly, I think a lot of those were what we had been doing in the past.
Those are what we were doing and experiencing.
And even though we wanted to get better, we thought we were doing things.
We were,
and it wasn't, because we were still holding ourselves back in those energies that we were holding.
You have to genuinely believe that it's going to happen, and you're going to do the thing that you want in order. So on that note, bringing it back, is you have to genuinely believe that one day, even if you don't know how you're going to get there, or you don't know what it looks like, or you don't know what it feels like, and you don't understand it, one day you will love yourself.
Yeah.
And one day you will be able to have these healthy subconscious thoughts. And one day you will live in your real self. And you'll know what it means. And you will know what your passion is. And you'll know what your purpose is. And you will feel joy. You will feel contentedness. You will know how to manage depression and get through it without it being so physically painful that it affects your physical health.
Yeah.
You will, but you have to believe that that's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Don't think about, but what if, like, that, think about it in terms of, I want to buy a house. Don't think about, well, where's the money going to come from, and I can't with my credit score, and I don't know. No.
Yeah.
Just think, I'm going to buy that house, and it's going to be mine. And watch the universe make it happen for you. Watch yourself make it happen for you.
And I think that, like, it's going to be a bunch of people, hopefully, that are watching this video are ready for that, because I think those people are going to understand the hard work it takes, because all those things are so achievable, but it takes a first step. A first small step. Like, let's map out where you want to be, write down and manifest those things, but like also realizing that, like,
it takes a leap of faith.
It takes a leap of faith, and then you are still climbing. You're going to be climbing the whole way to like fight yourself against yourself on these things that you're changing. You're fighting your old self, and your new self is clawing its way back into your body and your brain.
You got to take the leap of faith. Take the leap of faith to say, I'm gonna go apply for a loan, or I'm gonna go call a realtor. Start the step. I'm gonna quit my job.
Us wanting to start a podcast,
because it's not healthy
and
for
doing
me.
the actual podcast on a shitty-ass day.
Right, I'm gonna film. We both had a hard day. We both have small children. It's been a weird time. But you know what? It's okay. We're still choosing to show up for ourselves, because that's what we want to do. Yeah. And trusting that it's gonna work out.
Yeah.
And we're gonna create a community. Even if no one hears, and it's just us.
Yeah.
Talking for each other.
Yeah.
This is what we need, and this is us choosing ourselves, like really, really showing up for ourselves and choosing ourselves how we need to, even though it's scary, and just working through the fear.
And I think, just to wrap up, like, kind of coming back and wrapping this up, because I know we bounced around on a lot of topics, and I think going forward, we're going to have topics. Like big issue topics on codependency that will be probably more than one episode in the future, because that's more than an hour talk,
Yeah, we'll break down what we're going through, and we'll talk about our experiences and see how it relates.
Yeah. So I think this first episode, we were just wanting to share some information on what we were doing, and like some
general
just
thoughts.
Beginnings of life thoughts, and like, so like being able to be more specific in those areas of like how to do that, what's going on in our life, like, all those things, and just being in that one conversation. But I also think that, like, these are all things that we're wanting to do, and I feel like mentioning it and being like, us being more comfortable doing this, which is a trauma we're getting through also, is like being okay seeing on camera, being okay not
hearing our voices, being okay.
Yeah.
Being okay that it's not perfect. Like,
that's a big one.
If you hear horns honking, it's because we wanted fresh air, so the window is open. If the lighting is not perfect, it's because we don't have a ring light. We're just using a cell phone.
And if the tapestry is crooked and we're not focused, it's because you're sitting on a baby bassinet.
You literally are sitting on. We don't have a tripod. We're on a bed on a baby bassinet, because that's where the most light was and the least amount of toddlers were. But if you hear babies in the background, because there are babies in the background. If you hear a dog barking, it's because my dog is barking.
Unless Anthony's gracious enough to watch them every time.
Right. And honestly, we don't even live in the same city. So we're just
going to be filming separately.
We are just happily visiting each other right now. So some of these videos are going to be in terms of two separate screens merged together for a video call. Sometimes we're going to be visiting each other because we are family and we do visit each other. So sometimes it will be in person. Maybe sometimes it'll be in nature. We'll be talking about toddlers and babies and the emotions of your kids, and validating your childhood emotions and all the other things. So stay tuned. We are working on consistency within ourselves. We have intentions to film on Wednesdays and Sundays, or to get these out on Wednesdays and Sundays. If we don't, it's because we're human.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, but we're trying. And we're doing our best.
Maybe a day late.
And that's okay.
Yep.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But we're excited to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
We're going to create some social media accounts. We're going to
Yeah.
create
branding.
a branding. We're going to create an email so you can
Yeah.
give us thoughts and questions, and we can
Yes.
you know, call in with a therapist
Yeah.
type of thing. We would love to hear from you. So friends, family, new friends, new family, you know, just reach out to us. We're here and we're excited.
Yeah,
we're
I'm
here and
just
we're
also-
queer.
That's not true either.
You're also, but
well, I really just like want to end on saying like how excited I am to heal from this, because even though we are putting this energy out in the world that this will become something, that this is going to be this new way of raw, educated mental health, because a lot of it's really floofy right now. I really do believe that somebody's going to be looking for like, okay, that looks good, but how?
A lot of it's
like
coming
reality,
from a lot of it's coming from someone who's like very clinical and very healed and very, oh, this is what you need to do for healing. And we're going to talk about
like how you
I'm
go
going
through
a hard time,
Yeah.
and I don't know, and I still don't feel fully this way. And
so all those posts of like, oh, these like things that you post that sound really good, and like, I would love to know how to like, you know, let go of all my worries. Well, like you can realistically, but like that one sentence, that not one, you know, meme is not going to share how you do that. It's not going to validate the hard shit y'all are all going through and that we're going through. And so I'm just, you know, even if this turns out to just be for us, I appreciate you in this moment. Anything you guys need for us.
We're
if we
open.
even can't provide it, I am willing to do some research and help connect people with resources, information.
Resources. We don't know everything.
No, definitely
we
not.
never will, but we want to help. And we want to try.
There are things we do know, though, and we want to share those things.
We want to share those things that we do know. So,
I think
we can't wait. And
posting questions in the comments below, because if there's something that's more interested, and you know, we'll put those videos first, and then if there's not, we're just going to continue at our own speed,
and we're just going to talk about what we need. So but anyway,
come join the conversation.
Right? Okay. Well, let's heal in community together. Again, I am Kiki.
I'm Momo.
And this is your daily dose. This was your daily dose of real therapy. We hope that you gain something from it. We hope you're excited to heal within community with us. We can't wait to get to know you. We can't wait to talk to you about what we're going through and what we've got going on. And anyway, thank you for your time.
Thanks for joining. Free therapy.